Hello YouTubers, this is Cessnaace back again with another VideoDisc ads video, this time concentrating on DVDs and Blu-rays. Before I get started and before I have a chance to forget, I need to do a shout out for a YouTube channel, very interesting one called Explosive Action. Now I was watching his most recent video the other night. Well, as of the other night it was his most recent video. I don't recall whether it said anything about it in the title, but he does these really interesting ads videos for VHS, DVDs, Blu-rays, steelbooks, that sort of thing. And in the video were all rare, obscure, hard to find, limited edition. I know that sounds a bit repetitive and superfluous, but horror films, and they were from all over the world, releases. And watching that video, it's like, I want everything he is showing. And that's going to be a problem because I don't know where he bought that stuff. And some of those releases were limited to 1,000 copies. So I requested that he send me a private message with links to the sites that he uses online. And he obliged. So thank you, Explosive Action, if you see this video. Really interesting videos. And I know I've shouted out his channel before, but why not? You never know what ads he's going to show in the realm of DVDs and Blu-rays and steelbooks, because his tastes are like mine in that they're quite eclectic, although I don't think his tastes are as eclectic as mine are. But he's in Sweden, his videos are in English, and well, Americans might pronounce his channel name Jolly Studio 1, but it's actually pronounced Jolly Studio Et, if I remember correctly. Anyway, give those two a try. I'll stick links down there. Alright, first up, I'm going to show these in alphabetical order. Whenever I show anything in alphabetical order, if I have anything that starts with a number, I show it before I get to the ones that start with a letter, if that makes sense. The first one, you might think by the title, is a sports title, but it's not. 20 Years with the Dolphins. It is apparently an episode of National Geographic. They call him Flipper, 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 faster than lightning. Sorry, I had a flashback to my youth. In the 60s and into the 70s, Flipper was all over American television. In fact, in 73, when we moved to Germany, sometime around 74, I noticed that German television was running Flipper, dubbed into German. This is from DigiView, release TV2C. In fact, I also watched the German dubbed versions of Star Trek and The Streets of San Francisco. I also watched Pink Panther cartoons, but those weren't dubbed into German because there was no need to. There was no dialogue. Okay. You're going to see this and you're going to say, why? I'll tell you. This release is from Argentina. Abba Platinum Edition. Now, each of the songs on here are complete. And they're all identified on screen as being Abba songs, even though that's not quite true, because some of them are solo efforts by lead singers Agneta Foxgog, the blonde, and Edvard Lyngstad, redhead. Or, put another way, the soprano and the mezzo-soprano. Two amazing singers. And I've always loved Agneta, but I've had a growing appreciation of Annifrid. Anyway, their solo efforts that came out about the time that Abba was releasing their final songs are on this DVD. But as I said, they're identified as Abba songs, and they're not. Now, instead of reading off the 42 complete songs that are on here, I'll just show them to you. The final 11 are all official music videos, and the rest are all television performances. I like how it says under duration 150 plus or minus. That would be 2 hours and 30 minutes plus or minus. Unfortunately, they missed a couple of Abba songs that I really like. For example, Lay All Your Love on Me, which was in Abba the movie. That hit #1 on the Dance Club Play chart in the US. Yes, the US has a lot of charts. A lot of charts. And Abba hit a lot of the charts in the US. The other song I wish was on here, and the performance, there's at least one television performance of it on YouTube that looks really good, is for Lovers Live a Little Longer. That is not only a good song, but Agneta and Edvard do a wonderful job singing it. Believe it or not, when I watched this, I fell asleep somewhere around track 39, which is one of the hits that they had. I guess it's possible to have too much of a good thing. Anyway, this was released in Argentina. Entertainment Supplies release ES09075. As I believe I mentioned, one disc, single-sided. Okay, next up we have a joint release from Something Weird Video and Image Entertainment. Their joint releases are fully replicated DVDs. The releases from Something Weird Video by themselves are made on demand, so they're DVD-Rs. But this is one of the fully replicated releases. The Acid Eaters and Weed. Now, I already have the Acid Eaters from Something Weird Video on VHS, but not Weed. Now, the thing about their joint releases is that they are packed with extras. You'll notice on the left it says Something Weird on Demand. You could stream any of their films. The thing is, you have to attest that you are at least 21 years of age before you can get on their site. And there's a reason for that. Now, nowhere on here, on the case, does it say Image Entertainment, nor does it have a catalog number anywhere on the case. But on the disc, it has what, for anybody out there who collects for any length of time and that's familiar with Image Entertainment's catalog numbering system, will notice that this is an Image Entertainment catalog number. ID SW DVD. Turned on double feature. It says it right there. Okay. Next up, a double feature. Abraxas with Jesse Ventura and Laser Mission with Brandon Lee. Laser Mission I already have a standalone DVD release. This was only $1, so no complaints. I haven't played it to see what it looks like. Some of DigiView's releases look really good, and some look like 5th generation slow speed VHS tape that's well worn out. So take your chances. Okay, release MV-10D. Okay, next up we have a release from Warner Archive. Warner Brothers controls the RKO Radio Pictures library. And every week they come out with new titles that are offered by Warner Archive, which is a MOD service. Now, even though not all releases say newly remastered, this one being one of them, it looks really good. Now, it stars Richard Dix, who was a big star at RKO in the 1930s, and he did a lot of aviation films for them. In fact, one of the aviation themed films that he did I have on Laserdisc, called The Lost Squadron. Really good film. In fact, I had at one point done a Laserdisc clip video that I uploaded where I showed segments of that film, and people commented at the time that the flying sequences are really good for that time. Yes. And unfortunately, YouTube said, take the video down or we will attach a commercial to it. And I've long since promised you will never see commercials linked to my videos if I have anything to say about it. So I took it down. This is not The Lost Squadron, which I'm going to have to get on DVD, I guess, because it's a really good movie. This is another aviation themed film, though. It's an anti-war film called Ace of Aces. Now this has some really good aerial flying sequences as well, but it also uses some rather cheap looking model work. So as far as the flying sequences go, Lost Squadron is a more even film quality wise as far as the flying sequences than Ace of Aces, but Ace of Aces is a really good film. None of the Warner Archive titles that I bought, I paid full price for. They were going for about $16.95 each, and I got them for $10 each. Okay, going back to Something Weird Video and Image Entertainment. A Tale of Hex and Sex, Rated X. I haven't watched this yet, believe it or not. The adult version of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Or Jekyll and Hyde. There's no Mr. in there. Every film version I've seen of this story that was done in the 30s, this one wasn't, but all the ones I've seen that was done in the 30s, they pronounced Jekyll, Jekyll. So somewhere along the way, the pronunciation changed from Jekyll to Jekyll. See, there's no the there, except at the beginning. The adult version of Jekyll and Hyde. As is usually the case with the Image Entertainment / something weird video collaborations loaded with extras. Hocus Pocus Focus. Now this one does have the Image Entertainment logo on the spine and an Image Entertainment catalog number ID 5999 SW DVD. Okay, Hocus Pocus Focus. You can always tell they're on-demand ones because they say quite plainly DVD-R on them, as this one doesn't. Okay, this is another DigiView release that I'm probably going to have to watch. Carmen Electra. American Vampire. Now, some people are into zombie films. I prefer vampire films. They're more erotic. There's nothing erotic, really, about a zombie film. Unless you're not normal. Although, well, wait for it. As I believe I stated, another release from DigiView. Release MVO-B. Okay, this one I've watched. It's an on-demand release from Alpha Video. Alpha Archive Collection. This is catalog number ALP1076D. Also has the Alpha Video logo on it, but they're DVD-Rs, both of them. Now, there were two well-known horror studios, both of them also did science fiction, in England during the 60s and 70s, one of them being Hammer, the other being Amicus. Amicus was run by two Americans. And I will say that the majority of our family tree can trace its roots back to England. The guy that founded Hammer, his real last name is spelled exactly the same as mine. So maybe I have horror in my veins, my blood. There are bonus, there's bonus material included. Now, unfortunately, with the 2 discs and all the inserts, this doesn't want to close properly. But anyway, okay, the last time I saw this film was decades ago on the Betamax format or Betamax, depending on where you live. And as I recall it, it is a truly one-of-a-kind film. Now, I'll just read you a brief part of the synopsis on the back. In 1998, the world's oil supply is exhausted. The U.S. Treasury is empty and in deep debt to a billionaire businessman. He'll foreclose on the nation in 30 days. The solution? A telethon to save Uncle Sam from bankruptcy. From Warner Archive, Americathon. I have looked for this film on video over the ensuing decades and have not found a copy. Maybe I've been looking in the wrong place, but I have not found a copy until now. Now, some of the names associated with this, truly amazing. Stars Harvey Korman, of course, co-starred in many Mel Brooks films. Fred Willard, Nancy Morgan, John Ritter as the president. Special guest appearances by Elvis Costello, Chief Dan George, Jay Leno, Peter Marshall, Meatloaf, and George Carlin as your narrator, with songs by Eddie Money, The Beach Boys, Elvis Costello, and Nick Lowe. On Hocus Pocus Focus. Americathon. On a non-region encoded DVD-R. Okay. From Something Weird Video, this is a made-on-demand release. Image Entertainment had nothing to do with it. It's a sword and sandal film, and from what I understand, a pretty good one. I haven't watched it yet. Attack of the Normans. Notice they quite plainly say DVD-R. Starring Cameron Mitchell, now something else about their made-on-demand releases. They have a place for UPC barcode, but there isn't one. Okay, this next one is a Blu-ray. And still don't have a Blu-ray player, although I'm amassing a large collection of Blu-rays. So when I get a Blu-ray player, I'll be set. However, I have seen this movie a lot. I used to have it on VHS, and I saw it dozens of times. And then I threw a party, and one of the couples that came, the male part of the couple, he really wanted that film. So I gave it to him, which was pretty magnanimous of me, considering that back then videos were expensive. That cost me $80. I bought a replacement copy on VHS. I have since bought it on Laserdisc, letterboxed, which I've seen a lot of times, and on DVD, which is in widescreen, which I've seen a lot of times. I'm talking about Barbarella, Queen of the Galaxy. Jane Fonda was rather put out that she had agreed to make this movie because she had turned down one of the starring roles in Bonnie and Clyde to make this film, which lost money. It was released in the US by Paramount. And it's perhaps the only science fiction comedy musical that I can think of where during the opening credits sequence you have a striptease with the various letters floating around doing their best to obscure the good bits. She was pretty darn attractive back then. Anyway, this is an interesting movie. It's a guilty pleasure for me, And Duran Duran took their name from this film. This is Paramount release 44664. Okay. This, I think, is a Canadian film. 3.5 superlative magistral in its command of human psychology. Ray Catalog, The Globe and Mail. Nominee 2003 DGC Awards. Outstanding Achievement in a Feature Film. I can't talk. I haven't watched this yet, but I probably will. The Bay of Love and Sorrows. From Digiview. Release MV2017-17. Some anime. Beauty and Warrior. From Digiview. Release KT-017. Okay, sometimes I do blanket searches on eBay or Amazon or whatever. I'd be surprised if it comes up that way. And this one came up. It's a Japanese horror erotic comedy. I think its alternate title is Big Tits Dragon. This is its release under the title Big Tits Zombie. This has both 2D and 3D versions on it. Big Woody Allen fan. Y'all used to get did a video where he added this to his collection. He has a lot of Woody Allen. Also, this is Blue Jasmine. If not the most recent, one of the most recent films that he has done. One thing you can say about Woody Allen is he's prolific. He comes out with a film every year, rain or shine. Okay, this is Sony Pictures Classics release 42562. Okay, I love this slipcase. This is a combo pack, Blu-ray, Blu-ray 3D, DVD, and digital copy. Yes, there are 4 discs in here. That is the regular case. However, the slipcase, probably can't tell there, but it's very 3D-ish. Oh, it says 5 discs there. I think this is the only 5-disc combo pack I have. Have some 5-disc Laserdisc box sets, but that's another format. Okay, another Blu-ray release from the creator of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, The Cabin in the Woods. Widescreen aspect ratio 2.40 to 1, at least that's what it says on the back. Down there. Hocus Pocus Focus. Okay. They used 2 different styles on their Cartoon Craze releases. Digiview, I mean. This is the harder to find one from what my experience has been. This is Gabby and Friends. It's a happy day. I have the same release with a totally different cover with their old style. $1. Okay, another Blu-ray release. What are you capable of? Oh, poor Space Needle. Chronicle. Used to live in Renton, which is a suburb of Seattle, so yes, I've eaten in the restaurant at the top of the Space Needle, which, if memory serves, rotates as you eat. Another combo pack, Blu-ray and DVD, extended edition. Cowboys and Aliens. I wanted to go see this at the time, but nobody else did, so I didn't go. Well, I haven't been giving you release information. I'm not going to go back and do all those. Universal release 6119119. My dyslexia, love that one. Okay. Classic albums. Paul Simon, Graceland. You Can Call Me Al got a lot of airplay back then. And the music video, if I recall correctly, had Chevy Chase in it. Very red theme. Okay, more archive again. And this is a film I saw back in the day in a theater. Believe it or not, Mark Hamill and Annie Potts, who gives a really good performance, Annie Potts does, in this film, as a prostitute. Corvette Summer. As I believe I've stated numerous times, back then, I would pretty much go to see anything if it was playing in a theater. I was going 3, sometimes 4 times a week. I even saw the film that was adapted from the song You Light Up My Life, called You Light Up My Life, in a theater. That's how crazy I am. I don't even like that song. But it was #1 on the US Top 40 for something like 8 weeks. Debbie Boone. The B-side, though, I did buy it. The B-side was her covering the Abba song, Hasta Mañana. Okay, I saw this one in the theater, as I also saw the original. This is Creepshow 2, Special Diamax Edition. What is Diamax, you might be asking? Well, it says the special edition of Creepshow 2 is now presented in an eye-popping high-definition Diamax widescreen transfer and featuring all new extras that include an audio commentary with director Michael Gornick, a featurette on the grisly special effects, never before seen production footage, and much more. This was released by Anchor Bay. All of the stories in Creepshow 2 were originally intended for the first Creepshow, but didn't make the cut. Why they decided to take stories that they didn't feel were good enough for the first film to make a second film out of, and why they went with a much smaller budget when the first film was a hit, escapes me. This is released DV 12730. Okay, and this release is from I'm thinking either, well, Italy. There's no either about it. Italy. The long-awaited made-for-video sequel, Creepshow 3. Special unrated edition. Now, it offers both the original English track and an Italian dub track, and also as an option, Italian subtitles. And there are a lot of extras. The extras I've already watched. The extras are in English, by the way, with no option for subtitles, strangely. This is Uno Rusion. I think that's a production company. One movie. Anyway, this is release 040971DS. Oh, 20th Century Fox Home Entertainment. Creepshow 3. Now, I wonder if they'll ever make a Creepshow 4. They missed an opportunity. They could have made this one in 3D and called it Creepshow 3D. That was something that was going on a lot in the 70s and 80s with sequels. Once you got to number 3, film it in 3D and add a D at the end of the title. Jaws, 3D. Friday the 13th, 3D. So that went in theater. Alright. Until next time, stay awesome.